We have a gun.
Yeah, they want a use gun, but there's a operator's manual in here somewhere. If you don't, I'll get one. So it stays tagged to right here, and it hangs down. So it's a quick reference to anything you need to do. All of it. I'll get you one sent out. There may be one around here somewhere.
You don't mind if I tape this, right? If I do. Okay.
No problem. So any tank level, stay in the center. So you have 84 liters. This is an AFS 40, so it does 40 liters an hour. Theoretically, it does maybe 45. It does a little bit more than that. So the Siemens in general, you already used to ortho or what kind of water they use, but these don't use very. Okay, these use very little in comparison to Abbott or anything like that. So they're a lot less the suckers of water, for what we say. The main thing you need to see about the quality of the water, if you're having an issue with the Siemens on it, it's this number right here, the 15.0. So in operation, you'll see, so it's ready right now, so the tank's full, it's not running. You'll see 15 basically all the time. If you have a quality problem, you'll see this number trend down to maybe 10. Less than 5 is you should start worrying then. And 9 times out of 10, the only problem is you need to change a cartridge. And it's going to tell you that. So it's automatically on a timer. It tells you when to change those. You'll have an alert message. So this small little box here at the bottom, gray is good. So there's nothing. We don't need to change anything. You're in perfect operation. You'll click into that. You may not be able to click into it since we don't have a service alert. So it'll light up yellow. Yellow's an alert. That means you can operate in yellow. You just need to change a cartridge in a certain amount of time. So when you click into it, when it's yellow, it'll say you have 14 days to change this cartridge. You have, yada yada. And you don't have to change it at that point. Most people change it on timer and they have a book they keep it by, things like that. So you can wait until whenever. But it will, once it reaches 0-day lifetime, you'll get a red icon. So that is an alarm. It's time to be changed at that point.
Cartridges?
That is the cartridges. Okay. So on this system, we only have one ProGuard, and that's this one right here. That's your pre-filter for the water. So straight out of the tap right there, it goes directly to the ProGuard. That's the first filtration. It's charcoal, and it has a few more other things in it. And that's what does your very first filtration on the system. So after the ProGuard, there's RO membranes. You've heard reverse osmosis water. That's what's in the side here. They're about this tall. They went to a lot bigger RO membranes in there. So that's where it goes after that. And then after it goes to the RO membranes, it goes to your tank. Then that's what gives you the storage level here. All right. That leads me to the distribution side, which is these two blue lines right here that run the floor. So it's a loop. It's a complete circle. It goes from one end to the other. So water's always flowing through there at a pressure and send it back into the tank. That way we have no bacteria that's standing still. There's no deadheads. So it's always flowing to that point. In this case right now, so it's not in recirculation. So at this point, it is not. After an hour, it kicks on. Even though we're not running the Siemens right now, it'll kick on in an hour and it'll recirculate. Start pumping water through. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see this in recirculation. Yeah. So there's one more other function, and it says dispensing. That's calling, the Siemens is calling for a large volume of water at that point. You're rarely ever going to see that with these because it can fill the tank up in like a minute. The time it drops down, it fills it up. So you're always going to see, not always, but most of the time you're going to see recirculation. So it's just running the water around. On the distribution side, I need to show you this because if you have an issue with the water and you call them, you're like, it's alarming. We don't have water. The water's slow. Yeah. So they may show you this too, or did if they've already been in their training. I don't know. All right. So at each one of the modules here, you have pressure regulators. We may have to go down the other side.
Okay. And we're on the other side.
Yeah,
Going to the other side.
Okay. I'll show you this one on this end. pressure
on each
regulator.
module?
Yep. So there's
three.
one more right down there with that
Okay.
blue line.
Oh, okay.
These blue lines are what run into each module. This is from Siemens picks up on these blue lines.
Okay.
These pressure regulators, and when they're not dispensing water, which is 9 times out of 10, they're sitting at about 25 psi. Yep.
25 psi.
Yep. So if you're having a problem with water, you come back here, you pull that out. It's typically tucked back in underneath it. You have pressure. That's all you have to tell them. If you don't, they're going to call Millipede. All right, we don't have pressure. Yada yada yada. That is the only thing on the Siemens side of the Millipede that you need to worry about. So if you don't have water, it's alarming. That's the only thing you need to check.
So there's 1, 2
Yep. just
in this
two of
module.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just
Alright.
2 of them.
Okay. So it's coming out.
Yeah, that's all your reject lines
Okay.
there. So while we're doing the RO, reverse osmosis, our reject water goes down the drain.
So it's coming out.
That's your feed. Yep,
It's in the machine from here.
that's
Okay.
correct. That's your tap line right there.
Okay. And
And
these are the.
unfortunately, it's in a really weird place. It would have been really ideal if it came out of the cabinet, but it does that big up and then loops back down. But
Okay. Alrighty.
I said when I saw this thing that's got to, we both agree. If at some point it changes, we can come in. I mean, we can't redo the tap, but I can come in and hook it back up.
Yeah, and I think we discussed it.
I thought they were going to come through.
That's what we agreed to, but it wasn't. So, see, from the bottom of the copper pipe, none of that, that I can't mess with that. But on up with the, above the cutoff valve there with the handle, that's mine. And you can load it out. But if they decide to run it out, which will give you more counter space, if you see you're going to use that, they bring it out that door right there, which I think was the optical. I can come back and rework it for you real quick. That would look a little cleaner. That's totally up to y'all. If you do that, I'll do it on P.
Oh, okay. Alright. How often do we get a key?
Well, this first one, I'll be here changing them. So about the time the cartridges come due, I'll be here.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah. For the first one, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it again, Lou.
So that'll help. That'll help. I can show. It'll be a lot better to show you about cartridge changing it because it's actually calling for it. So right here, these timers basically looks like a watch around each one. So that's the ProGuard timer. That's the vent filter, which is at the tank. You'll see a little filter on top that's white. That's like a carbon dioxide baffle.
Okay. This one? That one.
Yeah, right in front
Okay.
of the ASM. Yeah.
Okay.
And then- Yeah, there's an UV lamp in the tank there.
Okay.
Also.
All right.
The Q guards here on the left side of the distribution. That's here. The OptiCap final filter is right here. So all those, if you see, it has a number out beside it. That's how much lifetime you got. Looking for it. So you can see most of them are like 90 days or something, 3
Yeah.
months from now.
I've used a Millipede. It was
A lot
like,
smaller scale.
oh yeah, it was for a dimension. It was
AFS.
like, yeah, it was like,
Well,
this
AFS
big.
8. Yeah, like an AFS 8. This is small. Yeah, these are fully safe. They bump it up pretty good.
Yes,
That's
yes,
a little bit more. Yeah.
So if we want to come over and get some distilled water, where do
So
we do it
that's
at?
what that's for.
Okay.
And good chances are I probably don't have everything in here today.
Oh.
So I'm coming over to work in your pharmacy tomorrow. I'll pop down there.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that way I don't. Yeah, that way I make sure I got everything. But it's going to tap in. I can show you where it's hanging here. It actually, I'm going to do this. It'll make it a lot easier for you to see. So this valve right here is going to be a shut off for the point of use gun. You can leave it open all the time, but if you have a leak with the point of use gun, you can shut that valve off. That way you have a secondary shut off. If not, it could be leaking and you have no way of turning it off.
Okay.
So we leave that on there. But
Gun. Oh.
the
Okay.
way it says point of use gun is it literally is a gun.
Water gun.
Yeah, so I'll put a little bit of tubing on the end. So you'll mix with reagent. That'd be the only time you use this, probably just making up stuff like that. So it's gonna hang on a really nice hook right here.
Okay.
Those hooks are in here.
Okay.
Those little parking hangers.
Okay.
Right there. At all
Okay.
times. You see it there. When you want water,
Mm-hmm.
push the button. You got it.
Okay.
You open
Alrighty.
it up, it stops.
Okay.
So it'll hang here. There'll be a short amount of tube in here. That way, y'all may fill up right here on the counter. It'll probably be really nice and handy or something.
Okay.
I thought you got into this place. Can you open that?
No,
You don't have to open that?
you don't get in there.
I know, but you do. So that water gun's not going to hinder you.
No, I'll just yank it off, and then the little hooks right here, just jerk it off real quick. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's good. If I have to change an RO, which I've changed one in the past 5 years so far, so their lifetime's like 5 or 6 years, so that's
Okay.
rarely replaced unless we have a big
Alright.
major problem. Let me go into flood stops. So basically they take like triple precautions with these, and water spills. We have a leak inside the system. That way we're not sitting here pumping out a lake in there. So you have flood stop sensors. One is here. The bottom of that has a small magnet on it. If that gets wet, it automatically shuts off the system only. It says, no, don't send me any more water. We need to address an issue, so it shuts down both sides, makeup and distribution. You're not getting any water. You'll see red, you'll say leak detected. There's one more back here. Hockey puck, same thing as that over there. You see that gold strip in the back? So that is terribly sensitive to water. Like if you get the wool off your finger and you touch it, it's gonna go off immediately. So it is really, really sensitive. That is the feed, the tap line water sensor. So if that gets wet, it shuts off this. So you get no water anywhere.
Okay.
So, and the way this floor sloped too, so all the water's gonna run back to here and run down through there. We tested that, so you're definitely gonna hit water there if we have water leaking out of the system. There's those two of those, they're daisy chains, so if either one hits, it shuts it off.
Okay.
Let's see.
There's certain reports that you're going to have to acquire when you have a account. Report.
Ports, yeah, I thought you said ports.
Water sampling,
We need to have it in that.
y'all send off a monthly water sample?
We do them in-house, actually.
Okay, y'all do them here.
Yeah.
Okay. Your new sampling port, or however you do them, is here now. This is the cap, so once you take this off, you'll fill it back up with alcohol before you put it back on. That way we can guarantee it's a sanitary port.
Oh, okay.
Rotate this valve counterclockwise. I'm not going to do it all the way. Rotate it counterclockwise, it will spit water out.
Oh, it's spit
Yep,
it.
yep, it'll spit it out in a straight stream
So we
this
don't
way.
do it again?
That's what I'm saying.
That's not a sanitary port.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Well, how do we
direct
catch that
Now we
then
don't
in a
catch
cup,
that spit.
sterile cup?
bacteria. Take this one of these. Does these really have anything in them? Any of them?
No.
That one looks empty.
I just noticed that we put the eggs in.
So do y'all use the paddles to catch the water on, or you send off, or you catch it at this up there?
We
We
actually,
just dip,
Dip a paddle in it.
or,
Your actual swab of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
well, actually we just sample out of our water bottles,
Do
don't
that.
we? Yeah. Now the pharmacy uses the paddle swabs, I think, for some of their stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'd sample out of that.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then put some alcohol back in it?
Yep. Put some alcohol back on the red
Any
line.
particular kind, gin? Scotch?
70%. Red will be fine.
Oh, okay.
Delete that part.
Yeah, I caught that time.
A little levity, it's all right.
Is there any kind of like an online training or anything?
I'll ask Sonny if there is. I know it's going to be hard to remember.
Well, we have cameras.
Trust me.
We have the
iPhone.
video phone.
Yeah, true. But you know, that's very true. It's really going to be pretty difficult.
I remember years ago they had them on CDs.
Yeah.
And so I said, now it's going to be online.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they have online training procedures. Like I said, the quick reference guide, and you'll get one. You'll have one, but it's got a little, what is it? Where they're copied, laminated over. It'll hang here. It'll have how to change this cartridge, how to change this cartridge, yada yada yada, on and on and on.
Okay.
Now, like daily checks.
Yep. So your water quality checks here, the 15.0, that's going to be your main one. And same thing on the distribution side, 15.0. You're going to check temperature, 24.0 C. Yeah, if y'all don't have
Does it automatically record this, or we will need to write it down?
No, you don't have to write it down
Okay.
manually. I mean, it is
Sorry.
it is recording it, but y'all don't. I don't think you'll be taking USB. You know, like some very few people do.
Okay.
Is the chart in the,
That's a great question. I'm not sure how they're doing that. People are making their own up, or however. I've got
Okay.
a standard one from the old AFSs that I can send out, but some of that stuff's not on here. This one's completely different thing.
Okay.
Going forward.
okay, I'll look online.
Yeah, if they have that, and if there's anything I can send like that, I'd be more than glad to.
So what's the range? If it's, say if I walk up, it's 13.5.
Right, you see the 10
Yeah.
right here to
Uh-huh.
15, so
Okay.
ideally 15, and actually the minimum set point on this looks like it's 2. You see where that
Yeah.
black arrow is?
Uh-huh.
So that is the minimum water that the Siemens can take in order
Okay.
to function properly. So
Okay.
it can take as bad as 2.0 water
Okay.
to still function properly.
Okay.
And you're not going to see that. The only time you're going to see it look really bad is when you change the pro card. So
Okay.
for a period of time, it's dumping water to the drain, dumping water to the drain, and then once it gets out of flush, you'll see it skyrocket back up.
Everything we do on our charts and all should have limits. What's the lowest? What's the
Right.
highest?
Yep.
So right here,
And
that
even
says 10.
Right, 10 on the distribution end.
Okay.
So that's the worst water that can go out the
So
end
this
and
is
not the
like
tank.
12 to 75, I guess.
Yeah, tank level. So once it reaches 75
Uh-huh.
liters, it's automatically going to kick on and start making the water.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
so this number down here means the tank's empty or out of
Okay.
water. That black arrow, that's the low. Once it reaches 10, it's going to say tank empty. I can't send you any more water. And the only reason you get that on this one would be because it's not making water.
Okay.
We have a problem. We have an
Yeah.
issue.
Okay.
So at that point, this section here would be red.
Okay.
It'll show up red and it'll be alarming. We're out of water.
Okay.
Y'all, in cases where we're not using enough water to feed the analyzer, it could get the tank empty, but that's why they really overdo it. Like an AFS 8 would not feed these. It would go into red. You know, it couldn't keep up
Okay.
in that case.
Where is our service person? Where's our nearest service person?
Me, I'm like 40 minutes away.
Okay.
I live in Winterworth.
Tanner.
Tanner.
Yep, and your next one's John Conroy, and he's out of Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Okay. All right.
So most of the time I will be here. I am the
We
closest.
like to have local service reps.
Yeah, that's very close.
Mhm.
Surprisingly, all my stuff's typically pretty far away. This is in my backyard, basically. So,
We hope not to have to call you much.
nah, it's fine. Yeah, I like close calls. I don't care. Anytime. So, not that you would need to do this, but this is mainly service reasons. But in order to put these, so they're in ready, they're in operate. Once we reach a set point, it's gonna kick on and run. So for some reason, we need to put this, for a reason y'all would need to put this in standby. These 3 lines right here, if you click that, you'll see X or check. Do you want to enter standby mode, which shuts this side of the system off? We hit check. You'll see it standby.
Okay.
We can't do anything here. We can't make water, anything like that. This is the area you want to be in order to perform maintenance positions. So replacing the ProGuard, we want to be in standby.
Okay.
Same thing for distribution side. On the distribution side, we want to be in standby to perform maintenance operations.
Okay. So both of these need to be in standby.
Yep, to perform
Okay.
maintenance.
All
Correct.
right.
And,
Both of those. Both
yep,
What
I
about-
see in that.
Do we
Okay.
have to put those little boring tablets in it?
No, y'all won't do that here. Not with these. Okay.
Okay.
We'll come in and perform, sanitization. And this one's already, the tank's already been sanitized on this one.
What is this thing?
That's the object cap, final filter. That's the last filter that the water goes through before it heads to the analyzer.
Okay.
That is the worst one to change of any of the consumables, is the object cap. It's the hardest. That's what I'm saying, when it's time to change that, that's the time we need to be here. Because we need to show you it being changed at that point.
That looks hard.
Is the most important part, yeah. It's just a pain. I mean, once you let the water off of it, you can't do anything wrong really. It's just getting it plugged in. So these are Presto
Yeah.
fittings. You click those. But first you got to drain it, vent it out here. These are vent filters here. So yeah. So in that case, if we were venting it, you come here. So you let the air out there, and you drop down here, and you're gonna see a lot of water come out the lower end. Or you may.
In theory.
So it may be drained. Yeah. Alright, so we put it back in standby here. You'll see water start rushing in. Pretty sure.
Terrible photographer, sorry.
I was worried it
So it's
said water,
been,
but okay.
so when you hear it,
It's
yeah, when you hear it
okay,
weeping
so-
like that, that's because it's that pure.
Okay. So if, like, we do our monthly checks, if that grows out anything, what do we need to do?
If what throws out,
If our testing water monthly sterility,
follow us.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that means we need to sanitize again. But this has been sanitized. You see that?
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, it's like really neat stuff. We use a
Okay.
gas now instead of a solvent.
Okay.
So it'll like knock the end off. But it's,
Alright.
this has been actually come back. I installed it and then I come back and waited until these guys were ready for water. And come back and sanitize it that same day. That way we get
Okay.
the best kill rate and it's not just sitting in there.
Okay.
So really this thing won't get sanitized for probably like 2 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because
Alright.
it's like a 2-hour process.
Okay.
Is this the USB port?
Yeah. Yeah, so if y'all are exporting logs, I don't know that y'all ever be doing that, but that's the easiest way to take the daily measurements. But I don't see anybody do that. So, typically the
Seems a
only
little
thing
bit.
they're taking here is on this screen. So they won't have you go any further. You'll take 15.0, you'll take temperature set, and you'll take the makeup side, resistivity, and its temperature.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
We'll put this with the maintenance for just the telecom.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get, for some reason, that short manual's not in here. That means it's, actually, you didn't have it, I think. I thought it was in here. Oh, yeah, you got it. This is the one. This is the Mac. Everything I mentioned today is in here. And something else. I know there's one thing in particular we haven't gone over. This has got everything I've explained and better. So, makeup side of the system, storage tank, distribution side. Everything's listed here. How to put it into standby, 3 lines, it tells you right here. Distribution, same thing. Notification alarm. So, blue, gray, processed consumables are not active, so there's no issue here. Yellow, processed consumable is in alert mode. So one of these will be lit up yellow. It's time to change it, and this little bar here will be. This is the,
Can I say the time's wrong on that? Is the time wrong on that?
I don't know.
Yeah, 10:56 now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see, settings change. Yeah, this is export daily operations. So y'all may do this. The quickest way to take your daily measurements is the USB. Pop it in, do that. I haven't seen anybody doing it, but that's the best way, and it highlights that procedure here. So it tells you exactly how to get to it, going through that process in the little iPad thing. So what it does, you get lost in these menus. It's insane. When you look here. Let's see. So
I
in
wonder if
this
you could
one,
do like a monthly download.
export data. That's service. Yeah, so export import is in this very last screen. So you got 3 inside tabs here. This one's only service, and this one's kind of a user thing here. So yeah, ideally, if you want to take the more, this is the same thing that's on the home screen. It's here, conductivity, temperature. That just breaks it down into a better.
But you know, you can write 15 or 80, whatever, probably just as fast as going through all this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why it's a lot
Yeah, I was
easier.
gonna say, if I could do this once a month, that would be good, but
Yeah,
You gotta do it daily.
measurement.
yeah.
Okay.
This one's important here. All right, so our systems keep the bucket, so
Oh no.
it's not working properly. So you're never theoretically without water. Even if it goes down, you still have a backup option. Best thing to do is to come to the lovely manual here, and this shows you the emergency bypass procedure. So in emergency bypass, we're using the water out of that tap right there. We're only using this cartridge. Okay. The most simple way to put it, and it's even simpler than this manual puts it here. Okay, shut the system off. There's the power button is right here. Right here, besides the power cord, there's a power button.
Okay.
O and I. You turn it, and you completely turn it off.
Okay, I see it now.
It's hidden back under there. Alright, yeah, so you'd put everything here, you put it in standby, you always do that anyways.
Stand by, then cut it off.
Yep, standby, turn it off,
Okay.
kick it off. Come to the back of the system on this side. The reason this line is red is for this reason. It says speed water, so that's coming from feet. These CPC buttons here, let me take, actually I want to show you as far as I'm going to put it in standby.
Okay.
Put this feet aside.
Sorry, making you dizzy.
Just a moment, okay. Let me ask you. All right, go for it.
Be in standby.
Yep.
Yes, I do.
You got it.
Okay.
All right.
You get
So
it
just to
done.
prove that you're not going to get wet,
It says right. Okay, standby.
Okay.
you don't have to turn that valve off over there in order to take this out. So you'd think, I need to shut the water off so I'm not going to get soaking wet. But you hit this little gray button right here. It says CPC on it, and it's a lock. So you're going to get just a little bit of water. See, it just barely dribbled out. But if I press this, it's going to spray water everywhere. So that's what activates it. When you press that in, that's what activates. That little punch button pushes in, and that's what sends the water in. So this has got pressure on it, but it can't go anywhere until this is depressed.
Okay.
You've put the system in standby. You've shut the system completely off. It's off. This next red one that looks identical to it right here, you match up red hose, right. Match up red hose to red back in here. That's your emergency bypass port. So the system has to be off, and you have to have pressure on the water line on that gauge right there. You shove it in, so I pretend I'm plugging it into that side.
Okay.
Plug it, you hear it snap, you know it's in. Okay, we're getting water, yada yada. Okay, we're plugged into here. We come up to the front there. We take urine sample cup this time.
I was confused.
There it is.
Put you on camera.
So, in this case, we're shut off, so you don't have any operations here. But theoretically the distribution side is in operate now that we punched it in over here.
Okay.
So it's not going to be on and you can't put it back into ready. But you've plugged it in there. All you have to do is do what I've done earlier and come up to this port right here, and you'll hear a little bit of air come out at first. And as long as you get water dispensed into this, it's sending water to the analyzer.
Okay.
Okay.
So the reason we cut it off though is because you have to have it turned off or it's going to continuously dump water out of that line after we purify it back into the tank.
Okay.
So that contaminates our really, really, really good water in the tank. And we can grow a little bacteria from that. But it's fine to use that water that comes off of there through the e-bypass, through the Q-guard, through the OptiCap, and then to the analyzer until we get a service tech out here.
Okay.
So you're
So the
never
instrument-
down.
What we're saying, the instrument's off. We cut it off before we do that? No.
Cut this off.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Okay,
cut this off before we plug into that
Okay.
port, that red port in the
And
back.
then cut it back on and...
No, leave it off.
Leave it off. So
Yep,
this screen will
stays
run
off.
when that's off in the back?
No, you won't have any
Oh,
screen.
okay.
Nope, you won't be able to see any of those
All right.
measurements. The only thing you need to check after you plug that in, the system's
Inside.
off, is
Is
the
the
vent.
water.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
Just, all you gotta do is turn this valve here counterclockwise.
Okay.
It'll spit water out, and then you'll turn it back in.
Okay. So no
Yeah, you can put the
screen.
ready back in for the time being. You just gotta press the check.
Okay, now it's in
Yeah,
standby.
you may have to, yeah, that one.
Now it's
Yep, click check.
ready mode, okay.
Yeah, and that one's already in ready.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see how, right, and you
Okay.
see how that's giving that. If it's
Okay.
not, you get the pause, the two
Okay.
lines that say it's pause, it's on standby. But that exact same thing's here. So it shows the red thing you plug into. You can ignore this part. We don't
Okay.
have an external solenoid valve.
Can you make a...
We have a shut off. Yeah, you
Now
can
make it
exit out
X.
through that. Yeah, y'all don't have to worry about that part
Okay.
here. And then this last part, where I'm talking about, we need to turn this valve in order
Okay.
to vent it. Is all.
And
Yep.
that we don't have a little hosey thing like that.
No, you
Okay.
can. Yeah, you can use something small if you like. And if you have like 100 liter, or not 100 liter, but like a 2-liter vial in the floor, it's probably a little bit easier rather than holding, a urine sample cup up right there.
Okay.
That's probably a little bit easier. But right here, it says power off system, and then release pressure inside system by opening front valve. Close it once the pressure is relieved. So you don't have to do that here because you can basically skip this step if you don't do this, because you don't need to. You don't need to do that because the pressure automatically is relieved once you unplug that.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about getting wet. You're not getting much water on. Just that little bit that dribbled out. I'd rather do that than have to worry about those extra steps. Yeah, we can hang this from right here. I'll hook it inside the USB thing. You'll have to take it off, but that or you can leave it sitting right here or inside or wherever y'all want to put it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's yours after this. Yeah,
Okay.
here's the arrows. Alert, stop, that's what you're going to see here. Alarm, stop, that's here. You'll see that. You'll have a little triangle in the back. Understanding the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
What questions do you have? Hit me with them. Besides replacing the consumables, because that's going to be key. I mean, I can yank some of them off now and throw them right back on, but that's totally up to y'all.
When do you think, you said it was going to be soon?
Yeah, let me see. Is that 85 days? We got about 85 days to
Oh,
it's time
okay.
to replace them.
So it's like every 90
Yeah,
days.
y'all probably have a consumable contract too, so we'll come in and replace them.
What?
We have a consumable
For the
contract?
first year anyways,
Yeah, sure.
I think that's covered. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, the first
Okay.
year especially.
But then after that,
Right, it'll be
Okay.
up to them after a year.
Okay.
So, and you have, or I'll leave, you'll have my card too.
okay.
So if you have any trouble prior to that,
So we should call you saying like 6 days, this is going to be need
you
changing.
can do that.
Okay.
But
All
we
right.
should already be dispatched. I mean,
Okay.
for the time, as long if you have a yellow screen and it's saying 0 days, you don't have to replace it as long as
Yeah.
these numbers are fine. And you
Okay.
know I'm coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it's not going to shut off. If you heard of the L gun stuff, once they reach their consumable time, they'll shut off if you don't have water. So
Okay.
that's not the case here. These will
All right.
continue to run even after it's reached that time limit.
So if we do have a big old water leak,
Yep.
what should we do immediately?
You don't
Cut
need
it.
you don't need to do anything.
It's going to automatically shut off.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you come in and you want to double check that it shut everything off,
Yeah.
run up there and cut that yellow valve off.
Okay.
You'll turn it clockwise and shut it off.
Okay.
Yeah, no more water can come into the system, but that's why we have that flood stop. It shuts it
Okay.
off itself. So
All right.
inside this little white cap on the back of here is
Uh-huh.
a solenoid valve. So when
Yeah.
that gets wet, it's a mechanical valve activates, it shuts it off.
Okay.
So
So
no
there's
more
actually 3 places that
Three
automatically shut
water
off.
stops. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the two hockey pucks, the round things, shut this off, so
Uh-huh.
no more water can exit it.
Yeah.
And the little thin strip in the back shuts off the inlet. So the
Okay.
reason those are stacked back there is so if
Mhm.
that one gets wet, you know the other one does, and we know both of them shut off.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
Because I know I've walked in before
Mhm.
and the floor is soaking
Yeah,
wet.
the only thing that I would say that could possibly happen, the most water that could get in the floor is that amount right there. Yeah, which is a good bit of water, but it's not enough to flood anything.
Okay.
So that, I mean, it's a good amount. It's like 20 some gallons of water,
Okay.
but you're not going to continue to have a waterfall of water in here.
What are UPS if they were on
Yeah.
rollers?
Has he not got them on them yet?
Yeah, they
Oh, he
are.
does? Oh, good.
Yeah.
We were putting in water to the modules with Siemens guys here, and they had an internal leak, and it dumped out about 10 to 15 liters of water then
Ooh.
at first. But that's something, they don't have any flood stops. Well,
Okay.
it's possible for their side, but
You said it's going to roll downhill anyway or
it'll
roll
be-
back this?
I promise you'll be standing back here. From
Okay.
what we saw when they had the internal leak,
Yeah.
it all went right back to the back. 'Cause
Hmm.
I don't know if it's intentionally sloped like that or not. But
Okay.
yeah, that did happen.
Who knows?
So we do know that.
Who knows
But-
if they
I think if there
intentionally
was
did
slope,
that?
there would be a hole.
There may be a floor drain back there. There
Yeah, that's
could
what I
be.
was thinking. There should be a drain. It's probably an
Oh.
issue.
There could be. It could be under the UPS.
I thought there were drains somewhere.
Oh, I don't remember.
What
We need room
questions you
numbers.
got?
So, emergency?
E-bypass, one more thing on the e-bypass. And even on regular, I always leave it hooked up.
Uh-huh.
If this light's green, that means your water quality is fine.
Okay.
So we only use that really on the e-bypass procedure
Okay.
because y'all don't have a screen up there to look at.
Mm-hmm.
But in e-bypass, if you see that light red, okay, the resistivity is not good enough to run.
Okay.
You see it green, you can run.
So if we see red, what do we need to do? Just stop?
Call service, yeah.
Call service.
Yeah, because the only
Call
only
service.
problems we can have there is this Q guard has
Uh-huh.
reached its maximum amount of water filter through it,
Okay.
and you can change that in the e-bypass procedure, but it's made to where it's good enough for us to come in by that time. It'll
Okay.
last 10 days or so,
Okay.
especially with just 2 modules.
Okay.
And you'll never see it. You'll never have us say it for it'll be a week before we get there.
So if we come over here, do we need to check these gauges down here and these pressure gauges on the back?
We have to have one.
Do we ever have to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always have a problem.
Okay.
You should have that.
And we would get an
Okay.
alert on
Right.
here. That
If you have
Pressure
low
wise.
water pressure or no water in the tank, that's the first place I'd check. If you don't
Okay.
have any pressure on those gauges, call service.
Okay.
There's nothing else I'd really even look at.
service for Siemens.
No,
on those-
us.
So them.
Yeah. If you see no water on those gauges, you can call us.
Okay.
And that would be because you got an alert here.
Okay.
That would means it's on our end. And not
Okay.
theirs.
Alrighty.
That would deviate that. That would save
So-
them a trip from coming out here.
So if they're leaking all over the place over here, it's not your fault though, it's theirs.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Okay.
So in that event, you're still going to see pressure on our gauges.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Oh, the pressure. Okay, that makes sense.
But I haven't seen any of these modules leaking, so
Okay.
it's not going to be there.
Hope not.
To be honest, I haven't seen any of these yet, but they've only been out for 4
We
or 5
have no
years.
wood
Yeah.
here.
Do I?
We have no wood here.
Yeah,
We're
great.
doomed. We're doomed.
Nothing to knock on.
It's gonna be fine. You got any questions, Lisa? I'm thinking, what else can go wrong in the middle of the night or middle of the day?
Well, when we do console, we'll change out one thing. This arrow here, you want to be sure it's pointing down when you change that out.
Yeah.
There's a second indicator of that on this back plate. If you look in here at an angle, you'll see an arrow cut into that, and it's facing
Yeah.
that also. So there's a double
Okay.
check.
Alrighty. Okay, that makes sense. Arrow down. Well, he's not hugging us.
Yeah. Unless you got any more. Anyway, going on.
Look at that machine behind you.
What else, Elizabeth, you think of?
Whatever. If you think of anything
Not right
else
now. I
there.
may have something, but I definitely want to work on it. So
Or if you have one by tomorrow, you know, I'm gonna be
Okay.
here in the morning.
Okay.
Throw this gun in.
Alrighty,
So,
that's
you know,
cool.
I have one now, and then maybe we can take it to the machine. Now when I order,
We need a laminator.
yeah,
Say that loud.
We need a laminator.
Okay.
when we don't have any tape,
We'll get her.
when
which one is big rate one?
when I order parts,
Yep, consumables, yep.
do I call Millipede?
Yep, logistics, and that number, if it's not located,
So now, will you bring the cartridges or do we need?
they'll be automatically shipped out.
automatically
This
shipped
first
out,
year,
the
they'll be
first year.
automatically shipped.
Do you know if they are in the e-procurement with the state system already? Sure, okay.
Yeah, because a lot of the other ones have got the same systems.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Well,
state system or state.
State is weird. I didn't say that.
She didn't.
She did.
Yeah, when
Okay.
you call, so this right here is your serial number. They may ask for that. You'll say on that wrong hospital, but they say what's the serial number of your system? It's right there, located right there, and also located on the back, right behind this pink filter. It's also located on there as well.
Serial numbers. What are these numbers written on the front end? The one on the access pack.
I wish they
Okay.
hadn't done that right next to that.
I know.
It's the first thing they done. Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, at least they didn't pee on it or something.
They probably did. I wouldn't say that. The consumable number is on here also, so if for some reason they didn't automatically order, you'll see a consumable number, and that's how you order those specific cartridges. But 9 times they're going to tell you what you need. So they're
These
going
are
to say
two different types.
you need that.
Okay.
But both of these are set to the same timer basically.
Okay.
So they're going to go out at the same time. That way we're
Okay.
not changing stuff. Everything
All right.
or something.
Okay.
So right here, you have like 3 months where anything needs to be changed.
Okay.
So,
All right. Should we get a clog or anything? What do we need to do?
call your office maintenance.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
It won't let it back flush into the system, then, will it? Okay.
No, it has a one-way check valve in the line.
Okay.
But that's a good thing about, I don't know what y'all have now, but so you're putting waste in that drain from the Siemens, and then you're turning right back around behind it and putting in pretty pure water
Yeah.
that's been
Oh, that's a
rejected.
good idea.
So you're basically,
flushing.
you're flushing
Yeah.
the waste down. Here's even though you have a trap, you still have flushing that waste,
Okay.
blood and everything right behind it, send it down the drain.
Now, what was this little thing here?
That's your flood stop detector. So this
Okay.
valve right here.
So all three of these are attached to that?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you see it says open right now. So that valve's open.
Okay.
When it gets wet, it'll go closed and you'll hear beep, 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 beep.
Okay.
It's telling you have water in the floor. That's the only
Okay.
indicator. This right here will not go off.
Okay.
You'll hear that valve right there going beep, 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 and it'll go bananas. And you can
Okay.
come over here and hit mute if it's really annoying, but you know that you have a leak somewhere. Or
Okay.
somebody spilled a little bit of water.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that
somebody
case,
that does that.
yeah, so if you get some water in the floor there and you know it's not from here,
Yeah.
get the sensors up, wipe them off real good, clean them up with a washcloth,
Yeah.
but let them dry, then it'll be on closed and it'll still be flashing red and alarming
Okay.
like crazy unless you hit mute. Then just press the open button right there and it'll
Okay.
open the valve back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
we,
you can
and
do that
somebody
on your
will,
own.
like Saturday
yeah,
morning,
yeah,
I
sure.
dropped a bill thing.
Or,
And, you know,
or they
what's gonna
mop.
happen.
The mop's the world's
Yeah.
worst. So
Oh, the mops.
they come in and mop and they throw a mop on it. Beep, 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 beep. you know.
Oh, golly.
So
we,
it'll
let-
turn it off.
we need to let housekeeping know about
Yeah.
that now.
So
we
it's
need
a
to
it's
put
a
a
double.
sign or something.
It's a two-edged sword. So that kind of stinks that they're not mopping there,
Okay.
but you know it's covering your water leak at the same
We
time.
could put one of those, I don't know, we could put like one of those little picture frames that has the foot, that just, we just slide it under there, don't mop. And we can tell them
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's
So
all
they'll
that.
just not mop.
All your
So when
electrical
that-
connections are here.
So when this goes off and that turns red, we need to dry them
Yep.
and then reset it.
Yep. Just
Okay.
hit on or open,
All right.
whichever that is.
Okay.
So it'll be closed.
Because that's a big thing. That will happen.
Oh yeah, sure it will.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely it happens.
Yeah, we'll do something.
And
to alert.
if you can't figure it out when you call in the tech support,
Okay.
this is how you do it, yada yada.
Take support 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
24 hours, all y'all. Don't call me.
100%.
So don't call me either.
Don't call me 24 hours.
So you got the, yeah, I'm looking for the number here. So if it's not on here for some reason, I'll bring a tag in.
Okay.
The 877.
Where'd your card go?
And get that right here.
Okay.
And so don't call me, but my cell phone number is this bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, anything,
Don't use the cell
if y'all
phone
are in there during the day and there's a problem, you can call me, but ideally call logistics because we're gonna need parts most of the time anyway,
Yeah.
unless it's something little small like that right there. I'd tell you
Yeah.
to do that, yada yada.
Okay.
But outside of that, you
Okay.
got it. Yeah, I'll throw that sticker on because it doesn't look like there's one on there. There's probably one in this packet of information.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm afraid to ride on the machine, but obviously we have people here that's not.
I wonder if we can take that off.
Because, that's misleading. I would have called the Millipede and said, here's my number right there.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
it's the wrong number.
I didn't even realize. I was gonna say I know I didn't write that on
No, you wouldn't do
I wasn't
that.
sure.
No.
Went to face the machine for crying out loud.
there. Yeah, off the bat.
It might come off with a little alcohol or something.
It checks.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Are you gonna be on camera?
I'm like, oh, hi. You videotaping the?
Yeah, we videotape.
That's great.
Yeah. And he lives in Lenore, very close to us.
That's
We can hop
great.
on 18.
Total 40 minutes.
Just
Nice.
kidding.
Yeah, I've covered everything on here.
I think right here. I'm gonna put the computer there. This is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll be fine. Okay, well, I'm gonna cut this off. Wouldn't have been funny if I hadn't
Unless you got
recorded.
any more questions.
I'm good. What about you, Elizabeth?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you, Tanner.
You're very welcome. Absolutely.
Turn it off.